Can we all take 3 deep breaths together? So deep breath in. Yeah, a little more exuberance on the next one, if you will. And one more. Yeah, I'd love to just hear a round of applause for Will, Conscious Society again. Yeah, such an honor to be here speaking to you all. I'm kind of curious, how many of us recognize that we do, in fact, today have access to every solution for every individual, collective, national, and international challenge or crisis or problem that we're dealing with today? Do we have those solutions? Do you recognize that? Are you a little unsure about it? Let me see what you got. All right, I think we've got about half the crowd that's in awareness of that. So that's most of what I want to talk to you about today. What are some of these solutions? How are they being used and shared? How are they being propagated? Little background story. I've been involved for 11 years now in the building, development, and connection of the Earth Nation, which is an international alliance of positive change organizations and peoples dedicated to finding, developing, and sharing solutions for every challenge and problem known to the human race. We're basically a superheroes club, a humanitarian activist-oriented group, and we do a lot in the world of business because it's the most effective means of creating real change. We do see ourselves as an international alternative government. We are in a very long process of obtaining full international recognition of ourselves as such, and we do a lot of stuff, way more than I can get into in this 15-minute slot that I have. So, I'd love to just share with you all a few of the more spectacular solutions that we found. I'm going to work from meta-scale in to individual scale. So, meta-scale solution, Carbon Cycle. It's a company that is franchise-like, so people can make investments into it, people can buy their own branch facility, we produce these facilities, and what these facilities do is they use an advanced form of pyrolysis technology to take all of our trash and turn it into diesel fuel, other kinds of oil, and about as much energy as a nuclear power plant without producing any emissions at all. So we're able to convert what is one of our biggest problems on the planet, especially here in Bali. Trash is a major problem. And we're able to take this thing that's just been this massive problem that no one knows what to do with. It's so expensive to deal with. And we're actually able to convert that into something that's worth more than gold. And we're able to do it at mass scale, as many metric tons per hour as is needed to process. And it is an incredibly profitable system. In the United States of America, our Ava, Missouri facility is producing about 95% annual return on investment, meaning that 10 million in resulting in about 9.5 million back every year like clockwork, because we get paid for the trash, we get paid for the oil, we get paid for the energy. And that's a common reoccurring theme with our enterprise mass scale solutions, that these solutions are in fact extremely profitable, as well as doing something that is solving a major systemic issue in the world. Next company, Pesco. Pesco is 25 years old. They're the oldest conglomerate business group within the Earth Nation Alliance. They have 36 branches worldwide, and they use another proprietary form of pyrolysis technology to clean oils and solvents. 27 forms of oils and solvents. Almost every dirty thing that comes out of any car, boat, plane, train, or manufacturing facility, we're able to take it, we're able to convert it into clean versions thereof. And it takes us about a quarter to a third of the cost and the energy to clean oil and solvents as opposed to making new ones. I don't know if many of you are well educated on this, but dirty oil and solvents is actually one of the greatest environmental pollutants in our world. What happens very often is there are companies that come about and their job is to store these dirty substances in vats, usually in underground vaults. Over 10, 20, 50, 100 years, a lot of these companies go out of business, the thing shuts down, and now there is no one to be liable for all that dirty substance, and eventually it leaks. and leaks into our environment. So now we're able to take, again, what is one of our most major environmental problems and turn it into one of our most highly desired resources. And, if any of you are familiar with fracking, these two companies combined, when applied at scale across the world, will completely eliminate our need to frack ever again. There are far more than enough oil already available on the surface of the planet. We really don't need to drill for any more of it. I just want to talk a little bit more about what pyrolysis is in the context of these two particular solutions. Pyrolysis is basically when you take a substance, almost anything, other than it doesn't really work very well for glass or metal, rocks either. Doesn't do too well under heat, but everything else, all kinds of plastic, all kinds of ag waste, all kinds of everything you've ever put into your trash can for the most part. And we put it into a chamber. It's an airtight chamber, vacuum sealed. We then heat it, usually over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And what happens is the substance demolecularizes, and then the elements can be put back together into things like fuel, biochar, etc. Let's take a deep breath into all that. How am I doing on time? Timekeeper? All right, great. Another one of my favorite mass scale solutions is EcoBuilt. So we've taken the leading edge of pyramid and dome building structures. We've combined that with the leading edge of vertical growing, hydroponic growing, water structuring technology, automated climate control, LED lighting, and right now are in fact working on a 100% automated line of high-density organic food production. This addresses many different issues, but the first one being that the cost of growing organic greens in these facilities is about 15 cents on the pound. So really bringing the cost of organic food down. The facilities are way less time intensive once they're set up than traditional row-by-row farming, and when the automated suite is out, it'll take no time at all for people that want that. Another major thing happening right now is that we have used so much glyphosate on this planet. It is in the sky, it's in the air, and even fully organic crops, if they have traditional rainwater that hits them, actually have way more than just trace elements and amounts of glyphosate, pretty much no matter where they're grown in the entire world, though there are parts of the world with less amounts of glyphosate than other parts, obviously. But when they're grown inside of a greenhouse, there is no glyphosate, so it's like the next level of organic. I see the majority of the food for health-conscious people being produced in greenhouses. And it just so happens that farmers that are using traditional ag methods in most countries in the world can actually make way more money with way less effort by switching over into EcoBuilt food production systems. So that's another third one. It's pretty cool. That particular technology also drastically decreases our cost to solve world hunger. It comes out to about $250 billion, all costs included, including security, which is actually a major part of that cost, for us to basically knock out world hunger pretty much forever after that. Another one of our solutions on an enterprise level is called the Chrysalis Model. And this kind of ties directly into our individual solutionary stack I'm going to segue into from this. And actually, I'll start with the personal solution and then explain the enterprise solution from that perspective. So, as we all know, health is a major thing for a lot of people in the world. There's a massive percentage of humans that are suffering from one kind of physical illness, mental or emotional illness, or another. And for me, what I've found is that the human body is one of the most remarkable constructs I've ever studied or known, if not the most remarkable, and that when we give our bodies what it actually needs and wants, our body is capable of healing itself of almost anything and everything. And so, proactive health measures are a big deal, and what we're eating is a big deal. And there are very specific technologies that have come out that treat the blood, that treat the body, that apply different vibrations and different levels of nutrients and different levels of cleansing to the body. And we have found 27 of these technologies that are available as part of our Chrysalis medical care model. And we have also found out in the United States how to bill insurance companies for the treatment, thus providing real health care. to really help heal people free of charge to them if they have medical insurance, which is great. Works even for medical care. Medicare. Yeah, that's a really big piece on the individual level, actually sharing these technologies, which there's some very sci-fi, sophisticated stuff out there, but there's also very old knowledge. Chinese Ayurvedic lore had it down on how to eat, how to cleanse, how to breathe, and be in a way where health issues are a thing that just doesn't really happen when you're in those states of being. So now segueing into more of the personal set. So health is a really big one, right? Another really big epidemic we're seeing on this planet is just a lack of happiness, a lack of purpose, fulfillment, and connection. I personally believe all these things are very, very deeply interwoven as like basically one big problem that a lot of us are facing. So in the Earth Nation, we've been working with finding and connecting and networking many of the different leading life coaches, therapists, and also practitioners of a very wide diversity of modalities that have been proven to be very effective for a wide variety of people. We've also networked with now 3,000 intentional communities worldwide that you can visit. Some of them you can work trade at, some of them you can buy into, and all of them that you can go and have an amazing experience at, like we're having today, an opportunity, a place for you and for us to find each other and more like minds and connect and really build our pool of people that we can really feel connected to. So that's been a big part of our work, really finding all those places, vetting them. Another really major component, an individual-oriented challenge or problem for a lot of people today is access to finances. So a lot of us are doing things we'd rather not be doing for money, right? So we are still actively working on building something of an international university where we can give people a full spectrum of education, which then leads into priority access hiring for the network of for-benefit businesses that we already have. So really assisting people in finding a really good role, doing something they love and making a good amount of money with it is a solution that we're about 70% close to finishing. It's one of our last ones to kind of button up in the next few years. There's another side of that where for people that already have access to a certain amount of abundance and flow, we assist people in learning about opportunities in some of these scalable, fractalable businesses that are highly profitable and solving major systemic issues so that people can put money to work so they don't have to work anymore. Our portfolio has averaged 30% annually and up for the last 2 years. And some of our returns have hit upwards of 200%. So anyone that is able to amass 50 to 100K, there's a strong likelihood of being able to put that money to work and never having to work again yourself. Which is, for me personally, and for many of us in the Earth Nation, extremely ideal, because it frees us to not being able to have to work for money anymore, and we can just do what we love, and if we get paid doing what we love, that's great too. We put that money to good work as well. But it is not the focal point of our lives any longer. Just take a deep breath into that. And then zooming out again, even farther than the enterprise level solutions. What the Earth Nation in and of itself is, that Will was kind of just leading into. We utilize the centralized autonomous organizational principles to come together as an international community of people that all want the same thing, more or less. We all would like a better world to live in. We'd all like a better experience for ourselves, for our family. We would all like to be proud of the world we're leaving behind. And what we've pioneered and designed and learned from and tested is a series of different ways of relating, where any community, any group of people in the world can choose to relate together with these systems in a way where now, instead of just coming together and sharing our hearts and our words, we can actually start sharing our knowledge We can start sharing our intelligence. We can start sharing our land and our resources. Whatever it is that we each individually have to share, that we want to share, that we like sharing for the benefit of ourselves and for all. And we've enabled and tested and created and actively, freely share this system of tools, including digital tools, including legal tools, including social tools, including economic tools, including currency tools, including business-oriented tools, including land development-oriented tools, including many other tools besides that I could talk about with you guys for a good 3 hours if you wanted to learn about our full decentralized autonomous organizational toolkit. But I don't quite have time for that today, so I just wanted to hedge on that these things are here, you have access to them, and I would be so honored to be of service to you in more fully embodying your passion and purpose on this world. Thanks.